Today we're going to be looking at this rather utilitarian, simple, and yet still elegant Revere Ware stainless steel and copper percolator. This is their copper clad model. I understand this dates it to roughly 1968 or before. As you can see, it's got all of the normal parts. It's been pretty well used. It cleans up rather nicely, rather easily. The stainless steel works well for that. And the stem has a rather large base. And I don't know if you can tell just from looking at it in the video, but the basket is as large a basket as I have in any of my percolators, with the exception of the urns. For whatever reason, most of the other percolators taper at the top and have a narrower basket. It might have an effect on the coffee brewing, but this one, as you can see, the percolator goes straight up and consequently has this really big basket. The bubble at the top is very large. Mine's cracked, which I believe I could purchase a replacement, but I haven't done it. It doesn't seem to affect the coffee brewing. It's very clear, which allows you to see what's going on when the coffee perks up. It's a nice touch. 6 cups of water brought it right up to the bottom of the spout there. Actually, I think it brought it a bit over, so this might be only 5 cups, although I'm going to still use water, or the amount of coffee, for 6. Because there's no heating element for the basket to fit into, or for the stem base to fit into, it goes in very smoothly. And this lid fits on very snugly. It's actually kind of difficult to get off, and because of the vertical walls on the bulb, there's no way to really get much purchase on it. This isn't really a problem when you're making the coffee, and it's not even a problem when you're pouring the coffee because you don't take the top off. But it's something to be aware of, that you can actually almost pick up the whole coffee maker while you're trying to get the lid off. Chances are good, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, if you had Corningware, and even if you didn't have Corningware, you probably had Revere Ware in your kitchen. We have a number of pots still, including the tea kettle in the background there, which makes me wonder why I don't have this particular percolator out on the stove more, as it clearly fits in well with the thematic of the copper-based Revere Ware stainless steel cookware that we have. It's interesting, but perhaps not too terribly surprising, the amount of steam that we lose through the pour spout of this percolator. At roughly 9.5 minutes, the coffee's starting to look more like coffee. The water is bubbling in the spout, which could lead this to be problematic if it boils over. I suppose maybe this is only a 5-cup percolator. And again, one of the things that you want to make sure that you're paying a close attention to with stovetop percolators is when the sound starts to change, that indicates that the water as a whole is almost at the boiling point, and you definitely want to take it off the pot, or off the heating element, before that happens. Okay, this sounds looks like it's changing a little bit. I've turned off the stove, and I'm going to remove it from the heat. All told, that took 11 minutes and 27 seconds, which is significantly better than the Corningware, the stovetop percolator, which we tried, which I think was 18 minutes or something like that. Nice looking color. Good heat, which means it probably had excellent extraction. Looks good. I mentioned I was concerned about whether or not the coffee grounds would all be exposed to the water due to the width of the basket here. After kind of burning my fingers taking off the top, did I mention that it's on tightly? It looks like they've all been exposed rather well to the water, and there's no dry spots, so I'm pleased with that. The Revere Ware percolator did a good job. Due to the fact that it's got a much more conductive metal with a copper clad base than the Corningware Stovetop percolator, I think it easily surpassed it in the time that it took to create the coffee. It's got a slightly stronger metallic flavor than the Corningware did, but certainly nothing that I would hesitate to use again. It's a lovely addition to anyone's kitchen. Yeah. It does a fine job. I'm not going to use this very often. It's not as pretty as many of the others, and it's not quite as good as a couple of the others, but I do really like the clear top that you can see the coffee brewing in. I like the clean lines and the cute little pour spout. It does a good job, and I'm pretty happy with it.